to the English language service of Radio France International.
He didn't actually give the Mass, but he participated in it. I mean, he was allowed to attend, should I say. It's important because in a series of machinations by the government that began in about 2005, he was progressively deprived of his powers, including administrative oversight of the Patriarchate. Then he was confined in his residence. And later on, in 2007, he was taken to an unknown destination and held under house arrest that became increasingly stringent. He has not been seen really in public since the end of 2006. So that's why it was significant.
Do we know why he was released or why he was allowed to appear at this Sunday service? Why now?
I think it's because there's been mounting international pressure about his case. He recently turned 90 years old. There was no justification really for holding a 90-year-old in house arrest for all these years because there were more and more parties, international parties, asking about his condition and demanding his release. The French government released a statement. Jan Fiegel tweeted on his birthday, the USCIRF, International Religious Freedom people, asking about him. Also, there was a resolution recently in the European Parliament. The HRC generally asks about him, as does the Special Rapporteur on Eritrea. So I think it was becoming an embarrassment. However, the information that is coming out now, even since the press release, shows that the government seems to be trying to control the narrative. Not only was he not allowed to say a word, or was he not permitted, should I say, to say a word during this church meeting, this mass, but also people were told not to take photographs. He wasn't returned to his official residence. He was returned to the place where he's being held. Everything points to trying to manage a narrative because of international pressure.
Why was he originally put under house arrest? Why did the authorities feel that that was necessary?
Well, he had increasingly been objecting to government interference into church affairs. The government wanted to tighten its control of the main religious group, which is the Orthodox Church in the country, or at least the main Christian religious group. He had refused to excommunicate 3,000 members of the Medani Alam Church, which was linked to an Orthodox renewal movement. He had objected to the imprisonment of 3 of the priests who officiated at that church. And he had also objected to the imposition of a government-appointed layman as the church administrator within the Holy Synod, which is the church's governing body. This position was confined by canon law to a bishop. So he had increasingly been objecting to these encroachments. Eventually, they removed him following an illegally convened Holy Synod, removed him again in violation of canon law, because the only people who can remove a bishop, the proof of removing the Patriarch has to be that he's committed heresy, or he's fallen into some kind of sin, or he has lost his mind. And none of these things were relevant in the Archbishop, in Patriarch Anonios' case. Moreover, they appointed a replacement who has since died, and that appointment was never recognized by the Pope or the papacy in Egypt, which has the oversight over the Eritrean Orthodox Church.
In terms of context, how important is the Orthodox Church in Eritrea? Why is this significant for Eritrean believers?
Oh, this is by far the largest Christian denomination in Eritrea. It's huge. I mean, and it's an ancient church stemming from very early on in the centuries. So in terms of membership, it's bigger than any other church by far, or church denomination by far. You could almost call it an established church, except that it's not government linked.